Hello and welcome to the Drummergy Podcast, episode 114. No, 114. I saw the 1-4 in Reddit is 14. 143. That's the number. On this fine September 9th. Oh, man. Mary and I were just laughing before we got on because the internet is full of memes of the Karen Philly. Is it Karen Philly or is it the Philly Karen?
The Philly Karen.
Philly Karen. Where she demanded she get the baseball back from the dad who grabbed it for his son. Man, really? Over a baseball? And then now my news feed is also full of really sweet moments where somebody is catching a baseball near a kid and then they just hand it to the kid. Yeah. And those are pretty touching. Some of them, the kids start crying. They're so excited, which is pretty cool, right? I've got the producer in the other room.
Hello.
There she is. There she is.
Yep.
So today we're going to need your help. We're going to need everybody's help, especially if you're a musician. But hey, musicians, what is the most important thing to you? And we're going to get into that here in a moment. But while we're getting to the subject matter, if you're a musician and you're popping on right now and you want to put in the comments what's most important to you, that would be great. Now, it can't be, I want it music related. It's not like my family's the most important. I think that those are just kind of like a given, like your family's most important to you.
So as a musician.
Yes, as a musician, what is most important to you and your instrument? That's what we're after. That's what we want to talk about.
Okay.
So, this last week on the show, we had John Pisano, who is the drummer and manager of the band Jukebox, and they do a lot of weddings and corporate events. And with the bands I play with, well, Midline, I would exclude. Midline doesn't do weddings.
That'd be a wild wedding.
Yes, it would. So, but with Cliff Miller, we occasionally do weddings, and we've done one. We've done 2 weddings over the past 2 weekends, and this last weekend we were up in Victor, Idaho. If you don't know where Victor is, it is right next to Jackson, Wyoming, and this huge property and kind of out in the field where they had things mowed down for the wedding and all that. But when we got there, there was the catering company was cooking, and they had these giant framed, I think they were made out of rebar or something. They stood about 6 feet tall, and they had chains hanging from them. And they were cooking meat and can't get my words together. They were cooking prime rib, chicken, vegetables, fish, all hanging from chains over an open fire, and it smelled so good. So good. Yo, Mark Grubert's here. Mark, if you missed the first few seconds, we want to know, Mark, we need your help. We need everybody's help today on what's most important to you music related. So Mark, you can put, if you want to join in, you can put that in the comments here while I blabber on for a moment. So this catering company, they were from Tasmania, which is just south of Australia, I believe, an island or something. And they had their trailer shipped here from Tasmania because it had like the Australian license plate on it. And
wow.
So it said www.sarahglover.com.au. And so I looked that up and I was like, wow, this person's been in all these magazines like Bon Appetit and Sunset Magazine and a list of others, which I can't remember off the top of my head, and cooking for different presidents and cooking for Martha Stewart and all of these things. I'm like, okay, this person in this catering company is pretty legit, and they've done a lot of really big stuff. And the food was amazing. I was like the Trix rabbit. My eyes were like spinning in circles, just amazed by this food. It was so good. So good. I can't stop talking about it.
I know.
It was awesome. So, weddings can be stressful to play, especially if you don't do them very often. Cliff has done an amazing job managing that end of the band. Actually, Cliff manages everything with the band. I get to show up and play drums and eat amazing food. But yeah, it was a good time, and they treated the band just wonderfully. And because we have been part of weddings in the past where you're just kind of kicked over in the corner and ignored, but not this time. Not the last couple times. They've taken really, really great care of us and included us in everything. It was yummy. Okay, silly holidays. Only one silly holiday for today. Can you believe that, producer? There's only
That
one.
seems odd.
You have an idea what it might be? No ideas?
Well, I thought you mentioned one yesterday, and I said, you're not going to bring that up, are you?
No. But you brought it up just now.
I didn't.
Now everybody wants to know.
No, because I can't even remember what it was you said.
I'll tell you.
Oh, so you are going to bring it up?
Yes. September 9th
Oh, jeez.
is the most common birthday because
You
it
told me you were gonna
said
bring it up.
December is the month where most people conceive. And the reasons is it's December, and usually in the winter months, people are together more through the holiday season, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and stuff. And that's the time people want to get a little close.
Wow.
But none of our kids' birthdays are in September. None of them. Right? None of them. No. All right, back to the actual silly holiday of the day is this National Teddy Bear Day. And which, yeah, I mean, I've mentioned plenty of times. If you can think of it, there's a holiday for it. Which brings to the next topic is being National Teddy Bear Day. Our son Christian has convinced Mary and I to join in, and we've been binge watching the show on Disney, the Disney Channel or Disney app, The Bear. Does anybody know what The Bear is? The show The Bear.
Hint, it's not about an animal.
It's not about an animal. It's about a guy running a restaurant in Chicago, right? Is it in Chicago?
Yeah.
In Chicago. Not a show for kids.
Well,
it's kind of rough around the edges of language and things. It actually makes me tense to watch it because people are just arguing so much, but that's like the culture of where they are and what they're doing, which I probably would have snapped by now.
Yeah, but it's starting to settle down. It's not as bad.
They're becoming a team, right?
Yeah.
So did I watch 5 episodes or I just finished? I didn't watch 5 in a row. Was 5 the last one I watched? And you and Christian watched another one.
And then I watched one more with Christian.
Yeah. I think that's what was happening. So The Bear, really, really cool. And it's about a chef who took over his brother's restaurant. And this chef's name is Carmen.
Uh-huh.
And he was like the number one chef in the world. Is that right?
Well, he was like an up and coming, like he was like best new chef. He's supposed to be very talented and very very
and he was working in New York. Again, we're talking about food. And you see this food that they're making and your mouth, you just want to go lick the TV screen.
I had this feeling when you discuss what your most important thing is to you about music, it's going to be the food at the gig.
Well, that is a concern sometimes when you've been traveling all day. Well, for example, like to get to Victor, if you're just like on it, if you're not touching the brakes, you can get there in about 6 hours. And so
food is a nice bonus.
It is, especially when it's that incredible. Scott Alexander is here. He's ready to weigh in on what's most important. I'm pretty sure we'll get to his comment in 1 second. So I'm waiting for Mark Gruber to weigh in too. Mark might be driving though. he was able to say, "Yo, Fred." Right? So has Casio played weddings?
We've played at least 2.
How was the food for
maybe
that?
3.
There's Mark.
Well, the first one was a while ago.
Well, how many you play, that's not the important.
I know, but I'm trying
food.
to remember, like, if we even got fed.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's the thing:
we played one in the spring or early summer that was downtown. I can't remember the name of the building. Was like Ocho or
oh, is that where I dropped you? It was upstairs.
Yeah, it was a really cool place. It was just it's like a wine bar where they do like tango dancing or something. But they rented the place out, and they had food catered in from that new Indian restaurant. I think it's from that Indian restaurant that's over by the Harley shop. High Desert.
I don't know what
I can't remember the name of the place, but they had that catered in, and that was really good.
Yeah. So if I was smart in those situations, like anytime that I've played weddings, somebody in the band, usually the bass player. So I'm talking about Mark Grubert or Alf DeVerona, Sam Alkire, and then Rob. I can't think of Rob's last name. Rob played bass for us, and Rob actually lives in Jackson, Wyoming. But all of these guys, they bring like this little cooler, and they've got food packed and their water or drinks or whatever they've got. And I always look at them like, oh, here's people making smart decisions, good choices, right?
You too could do that. Frank.
I know. It's gas station food for me. I gotta stop that. We have an
assortment of coolers and sizes and things.
Yeah, I gotta stop that. Yeah. Mark says he and Scott have the bass player vibes. Well, that's because they're bass players. All right, so
and hold on a second. Speaking of bass players, last week when John was here, he was saying that their bass player, Alf, cooks for them.
Yeah. Well, I think that's when they're staying overnight for a night or two or something. They'll go to because they get an Airbnb and Alf will go. Did John say they had a budget for that? Excuse me.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, I got the hiccups suddenly.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think that Alf's just running out with his credit card and diving in.
Well, no, I'm just saying that it was another bass player.
Yeah, could be. Speaking of bass players, on next week's show, I'm supposedly going to have Jeff Abercrombie from the band Fuel here. And so I'd been texting with him, and then somewhere, because I went to bed around 11, and I got up this morning, had a text message from Jeff, says, dude, I forgot about the podcast. Can we reschedule? I've got all this work being done to my house today. And I'm like, hey, brother, it's next week. So we're safe as kittens as far as that goes, unless somebody starts banging on the door and it's Jeff. But I don't think that's going to be the case. All right. So what is most important to you as a musician? And I mentioned just a moment ago, I'm not talking about family or your day job or just specifically music related. So I think before I had a couple talking points, but I'm hoping that from what Scott and Mark are starting the conversation with, this will help steer more folks in the direction we want to talk about. So Scott says, let's put Scott's comment up here. Number one before playing ability would be the person's character. Are they a good fit for the band or project? Got to be able to hang. Without that, what's the point? Unless it's a one-off or studio thing where you don't have to interact when you're done. Yeah, Scott, I'm with you on that. Being able to just hang out and have discussions outside, outside of actually playing. Like being on the road's a good example. If you're on the road for a day or a week or extended period of time, you got to be able to hang out with those people. And I love that. That was not one thing that popped in my head while I was writing these little
but
suggested points.
That's about other people. Are you wanting to know about what they think about what's important to them and other people, or that's outside of them, or
just what's important to you. So I think Scott's saying, like, number one, before playing ability, like what's important to him would be a person's character, like who he's playing music with. Can you be around that person? Can you hang?
So
I'm looking at you like people can see you.
I know. I'm trying to decide if he's referring to himself in that way or if he's referring to the people he plays with, because it sounds like
he said the person's character.
Other people, that he wants to be around other people that are good.
Well, let's assume it's both. Let's assume it's both.
Oh, okay.
You got to be the cool person, and they got to be the cool person. Does that work?
Sure, that works for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that most people view themselves as the problem. It's always the other person, right? Of course, I'm not the problem.
Always the other person.
That Dickle Nickel over there, he's the issue. No, I agree with Scott. I think that's a really, really great point. Is can you hang with those people?
So Scott said others. Okay, thanks.
Yes. See, Scott's not the problem.
Yeah. So I'm curious what people think about.
Scott says others, Mary.
So
you probably saw that.
I know, I just said that. I'm wondering what people think about for themselves, and then also outside of themselves.
What's important to themselves and what's important to them outside of themselves?
Yeah, like, so he said it's important that the other people that he's playing with, that they have a good musical ability and that they're a good fit for the band.
But see, in that, I also gather that.
What about like internally? Oh no, now he's laughing.
See what you started.
So like,
Scott.
for me, I guess for me it would be a little self-centered. I would want to make sure for me that my ability is good and that I'm doing the best I can to be a good musician.
But are you a good hang, Mary?
Well, I don't know if I can answer that question.
I think that you are.
I'd be a little egotistical to say, yeah, I'm the best hang, man. Everybody loves me.
I would just think like history would show that, when a band stays together for a long period of time, when there's not a lot of switch up in the lineup, that I think a lot of that has to do with relationships, your ability to get along with people. I mean, how long do you tolerate somebody that you can't get along with? That's another good question, right? How long do you put up with it if you are in that situation? Till you're through with whatever commitments are on the calendar, and then you're out of there, or you fire that person, or
that is an uncomfortable.
I don't think you'd be the singer in Casio Dreams this long if they couldn't stand you.
That's true. Unless they're just desperate. She's all we got, folks. We just put up with her.
Let's see what Mark has to say. But I think that's a really good topic, is that having the hang. I'm going to scroll down here and see what I'm missing. Scott's laughing.
Well, okay, so
there's Mark's comment. See, Mark says the overall vibe of the band,
you can't hear me,
on and off the stage, are the most important to me. So he's with Scott as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. I think, I've told my students, this kind of goes hand in hand with that, is I tell my students, I'm like, ability is a must. Like you have to have some kind of talent. You have to have some mastery of your instrument, right? You have to know what you're doing. Like without that, you're not even in the equation at all. But ability is a must, but attitude is number one. Like you have to have a great attitude. And if you have a great attitude, then you got to have that great hang and be able to have conversations, when you're not on stage or in the studio, that, just like your overall being, like, even if you're not talking, right? The vibe, like Mark said, like, are you a welcoming person? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or, some people just have this air about them. I'm not talking about how they smell, which that's also important, right?
How they smell.
People's personal hygiene. But Like if you just carry yourself around like you're a total jerk, that's not a good vibe. That's not. Anyway, that's a really great starting point. Let's see what Mark has to say. Mr. Grubert. Musical skills and ability are extremely important. Oh, I just said that.
Yeah.
See? I think drummers and bass players have this like these antennas that are up, and we're always like we can finish each other's sentences. Important, of course, but what's in a person's heart is truly what matters. I like to surround myself with positive people. Helps keep the personal batteries charged. Yeah. And to kind of the other part of this thing, like what Scott and Mark are saying, is if things start going wrong, I think knowing that you have this this friendship, it makes those things easier to navigate. Have you experienced that, producer? Are you there?
I'm afraid to say anything because every time I start talking, you cut me off because you can't hear me.
I can hear you. I have these ears in right here.
Yeah, but that's like a 7-second delay. Or can you hear me live?
I can hear kind of both.
Oh, that's weird.
It's not bad though.
I was starting to say earlier that there was this one time, it was when I was newly pregnant with Jude, that somebody had asked me to join their band. And
oh yeah.
And I think it was supposed to be like a Christian rock type thing. I don't remember now. But I showed up with all my crap, all my like my guitars and all that, and hiked all this crap up to the top of their stairs, and they have like one of those loft kind of rooms.
Oh.
And like it was the most uncomfortable situation. It was weird because he'd asked me to come to be like a rhythm player and the singer, which was fine. But then they invited this other girl to be the singer, and she was really bossy and pushy. And I was like, I'm not into this at all.
Yeah.
So after that was over, I messaged him and said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. But I'm so glad that I like just nipped it in the bud right then, because I would have been miserable trying to make that situation work.
I vaguely remember, was it just the one time that you went?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I don't think I went twice. If I did, it was only twice. But...
So as far as like, that's part of like what are the expectations, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, that was a brand new thing, that there was no real
right. And as far as I know, nothing ever ended up happening with that group.
Did it never come together?
I don't think so.
Oh, well. So it was doomed to fail just from the beginning. Just it was a bad vibe, right?
It was a really bad vibe.
Did you know that going in there would be another singer, or did you just say?
It wasn't until I showed up.
Yeah. I think.
But she was very full of herself and thought she was Celine Dion.
Did she look like Celine Dion?
I won't sing. And then he kept telling me to sing. I'm like, no.
Do you think maybe she felt threatened by you being there?
No, she didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was.
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to know who they are, but like maybe her impression was that she was going to be the singer.
I don't know. I mean, that would be rotten in both directions, I guess, when you're told you're going to be the singer and then you show up and there's another singer there that's the singer, and it's like, okay.
I'd be curious, like, from anybody else, like if you were like in a similar situation to what Mary's talking about, like, would you feel threatened in some way? And highly unlikely there's going to be two bass players that show up, or two of something that wouldn't make sense, right? Having two guitar players, that's not uncommon.
And it wasn't like it was an audition situation. It was, we're looking for a singer. That person had
already decided who was going to be in the band?
Yeah, it was like, I was asked to be in it. And I had even said, I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty busy. And so, I don't know, maybe he thought I wasn't for sure. And so he invited the other person. But it was kind of weird to have us both there at the same time. But it was just was not a good situation.
Well, yeah, that's what it sounds like. I was just curious, like Derek Smalls on lead bass. Okay, Mary, you know this. What is Mark referring to right there? Derek Smalls on lead bass.
Spinal Tap, of course.
Did you say Spinal Tap?
Yeah, and the new movie's coming out this weekend.
It is?
Yep.
I know what we're doing. I'm not going to go see your band.
I've got 2 gigs this weekend.
I know. I'm not going to go to your gigs. I'm going to go to the movies.
We have to go on Sunday.
Okay, that's are we going to go to the movie theater for that?
I don't know. Is it a movie theater kind of movie?
Well, how else are we going to see Spinal Tap 2?
Well, I'm sure it'll be like streaming in a couple weeks. They go really fast.
Okay, I want to touch one more thing on that situation you were in where the other singer gal was being bossy. Like I started to say, maybe if you feel threatened in your spot, then you there's too much of you get, I'm not you specifically, like, okay, well, whatever her name was.
I don't even know her name.
Maybe she felt threatened by you, so she had to go like out of the way to be quote unquote bossy, or
I don't know. I didn't get that impression.
Okay.
But I don't know. I can't assume I know what somebody's thinking. But
I cannot honestly, I can't sit here and honestly say that I've never done that myself. Maybe I've done things similar to that and kind of like not aware that I even did it until later. I'd like to think that I don't try to do that, but I'm a fallible person just as everybody else is. Jared Halleck is here, and so is Jared Anthony. Look how wildly different you can spell Jared. Jared Anthony, is your spelling of Jared, is that French? Let's see what Jared has to say.
Well, some people see his name and think it's Gerard.
I know, and I'm pretty sure that he gets called that occasionally. And Garrett Tackett's here. So Jared says chemistry ultimately is everything. Don't try to push a square peg into a round hole for the sake of musicianship. It won't it won't last, and it won't feed your soul.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was no chemistry in that situation.
So we got Scott, Mark, and Jared.
Well, I mean, there was.
Are all pointed in the same direction with what that'd be like the number one most important thing, right? So I think having 3 people all say similar things that, well, for example, when I don't know if I was a senior in high school, but it was around that age for me, like between like 17 and 19, I believe. I would hang out at American Music in Caldwell a lot. That was like the hang spot, minus when I could get to Boise and hang out at Musicians Pro Shop. But there was a guy working there, because I always try to have my bands I would try to put together, and it was always like there was always one person who they were going to college or something, right? And that drove me crazy, because it was like I wanted to be with people who were all in the same mindset, who wanted to be rock stars. That's what I was looking for. And the guy that worked at the store said, man, just find somebody cool to hang with who believes in this dream, and maybe their talent isn't at the level that you're expecting, but it would get there. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be a motivator to be better. But like, even then I had people telling me like, it's really important to be able to just hang with those people. That was a very inconcise way of me saying a bunch of words. So Mark says Fred's into something. Fight or flight instinct can cause people to be very confident when they're truly afraid. Yeah, so that's a way better way of summing up what I was trying to say, Mary, is exactly what Mark just typed up there. Do you agree with that?
Well, I guess no, I mean, I agree with that statement. I just don't know if that was the situation, but because neither one of us knew each other at all. She was a good singer, so I don't know why she would feel that way, but I don't, as far as I know, they never went on to do anything. They may have had a few more rehearsals, but I don't even remember her name. It was so long ago. It was like almost, I don't know, 12 and a half years ago.
Well, yeah, because Jude's 12. So
Yeah.
if you were pregnant with Jude, then
yeah, it might have been like January.
Okay, well, here's a something that just popped in my head around that situation. So you being pregnant, like, how much can a pregnant woman do in a band that's just starting?
That was also part of my thinking. I think was like, I was not into hauling my amp and 2 guitars up this flight of stairs for a rehearsal, and like nobody helped me.
Oh, I was just about to ask that.
So that was a put off, and then the vibe was just weird, and the guy whose house it was not, like, I don't know, he knew what my abilities were, but then he like complained about stuff that I was doing. I'm like, this is how the song goes. Like, I don't understand like what the problem is. And I wasn't playing anything wrong.
Yeah.
I think he just thought I was going to walk in and be like Prince or something. And I'm like, I'm not that great of a guitar player. I'm just a rhythm player.
I think
so. It was just kind of
weird.
The
person's name just popped in my head, who the guy was.
Yeah, but don't say it.
No, I wasn't going to. But if it's who I think it is, that would have been just a terrible thing.
Yeah, I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, totally. If it's who, yeah. Yeah.
Not a good hang.
No.
But I didn't know that then.
Not at all.
I didn't know
that would have been
then.
a bad. That would have unraveled really quickly.
I was well aware, but
hence probably why it never got off the ground, even though you weren't even in it.
Yeah, maybe she didn't like it either. Like,
that could be. That could be. But I really like what Mark expanded on with the fight or flight thing. Overly confident when you're truly afraid. It's like you're just going out of your way to do that because of you're afraid.
In my experience, if I'm in a situation where I feel like everybody is at a far higher level than me, I don't want to say I shut down, but I back way off. Like, I don't. They're not going to know what my capabilities are because I'm just not going to really show it, I guess. I don't know.
Do you think you're participating, but also being like, you're not talking, you're just observing more?
Somewhat, but like I certainly wouldn't be trying to show off.
What do you mean by show off?
Well, that's what she was doing. She was like showing off, and it was really uncomfortable. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it.
She was polishing herself. Look how shiny I am.
Yeah, pretty much.
No dust. I have a shiny forehead.
And I mean, I guess if she was, so like I told you, I was under the impression I was the singer because that's what he told me, and he had not told me that he invited another singer to be there. And so maybe in her mind, she's like, well, I want to be the singer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show off and whatever.
I call that peacocking.
Yeah. I guess that's what she was doing. Yeah.
When they're, when you see a peacock strutting around and they get their big tail going and they're like, obviously everybody's going to notice the peacock.
It's just weird because it was like worship music.
You're right. So that's the other dynamic is,
like,
especially in that situation, like we're doing this like from a spiritual and
like we're all church musicians, so right. I'm not sure if she was
quote unquote.
I don't even know how he
Christian
found her
band, and it's just like
she was so significantly younger than the rest of us, so I don't even know how he found her. I don't know.
Was she pretty? Was she pretty?
Maybe. I don't remember. I don't recall her not being pretty. So
okay.
She probably was pretty.
Well, check out Gary's comment. This is pretty good. It's all based on your ability to tolerate the smell of farts and French fries in a van or tour bus.
Oh my gosh.
I I'm not sure any road trip is complete without the windows having to come down for a moment and air out the rig.
Well, in my band, we never travel together, so everybody just drives themselves up. The only time Joe and I were the only ones that would ride together just to save money on gas, but everybody else just drives themselves.
Yeah, that's a I don't know. I don't think strange is the right word, but Casio Dreams doesn't really travel frequently.
We don't.
And so probably because of that, because the spouses go on a lot of those trips. Is that correct?
Yeah, it just depends on the housing situation.
So it kind of becomes like a little overnight or couple night getaway for those couples.
Yeah.
Versus, I guess, like when I'm traveling, like either with Cliff or, I mean, it's been a while since Midline's done any legitimate traveling, but it's like we're working. It's part of our, although it's fun, there's a lot of shenanigans that can go on, but it's a lot of fun. But it's because we're getting a paycheck too. So to take our families with us, that's it'd have to be a pretty unique situation to be able to do that. So, but I'm assuming like if the band traveled frequently, like that was part of what you did, you'd probably have a different travel arrangement.
Well, and if it was a longer distance or something, it would probably be different. But when you're just driving up to McCall or Sun Valley or something,
an hour, 2-3 hours away, possibly.
Yeah, spouses don't always show up, and sometimes I think like there's been other times where maybe somebody rode along with somebody else, but usually it was always just me and Joe.
Here's Seth. Let's put up Seth Cornell's comment. Seth is a drummer. He said, I recently attempted a band after years of not banding. They were great singers and great players, but they approached me like I was for hire. They wanted to tell me exactly how to play, and I didn't like it. Yeah, that's a weird thing too. When people start being heavy-handed in what you play. I guess it depends on where the information's coming from, Seth. And what kind of trust you have in those around you who are suggesting you play something different. Now, I'm not fully aware of everything that Seth has done, but I know he's a really good drummer because I've seen videos of him playing. So I can't say with 100% certainty, but if you're drumming and you're making bad musical choices that are getting in that could be a whole nother discussion, right? Like staying out of the way of the lyrics and things like that. But if you're constantly being corrected, that's like, man, do I have any artistic license whatsoever?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what am I?
That's kind of what I was getting at. Like when he was starting to like get on me about some stuff about guitar playing and stuff. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm just a rhythm player and I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But like I could have been mean and pointed my finger right back at him, but I chose not to because it wasn't worth my time. But yeah, it's weird when you feel like, well, if you don't like how I do it, why did you even invite me in the first place? Because that for sure you knew like what my abilities were and whatever. So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, here's another person that will remain nameless, but there was a guy who put a cover band together, and there was some decent people in the band too. I mean, ability wise. And sometimes when you first get in a situation, you're trying to figure out who everybody is as a person. But I had learned like 30 songs for a rehearsal. And I guess I was feeling like, okay, we want to get a general idea of how this thing's going to fly. And then you work out all the little details after that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we would play, the whole band would start into something and we might get 8 to 16 bars into something. And he would stop the whole thing. And he'd be like, there's too many hi-hat hits. Like if, for example, if I played 1E and a 2, 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and he would be like, no, there's no more hi-hats after the 2. It's just on the 3 again. And there was a percussion player that was there. And this went on for like 10 songs where some little nuance in the music wasn't exactly right. And he was pointing at me like I was the problem, right? Like everything I was doing was the issue. And the percussion player, he had enough of that. I was being really patient, but in my mind, I was going out of my head, right? But the percussion guy jumped his case. He's like, we're not ever going to get anything done. We're never going to get it through a song. He's like, he's playing fine. Leave him alone. Like the percussion player would put on gloves for me, you know? He was like, he's ready to punch the guy. So, but once you had a couple rehearsals under your belt and you're like, oh, this is, you know, I would hear him play bad chords. I didn't stop the song and say, oh, that chord's not right.
Oh,
I was just looking.
It sounds like you're playing an A9. It should be an A2.
Right. So that's just a weird. That was like, I haven't had an experience like that. Well, I guess there was one other one I had. Like, because Seth has my gears turning now about like people telling you what to play. There was another band I filled in. This has been a couple summers ago, like for 5 gigs, and the band leader was pretty intrusive on how I was playing. And I asked him, I said, do you want me to play to a click? He's like, no, it'll be fine. Well, there was me being not super familiar with all of the songs. At least if I had my click next to me, I would have a reference point. And there was a song that I don't remember which song it was, but the tempo was like 162, which is a pretty good clip to play along to. And so we had played the song the night before, and as we were playing, he's looking at me like feeling like we weren't playing fast enough. And so I just did a little quick tempo check, and I if I wasn't right on, I was within like a beat or two of the right tempo. And so the next night he said, what tempo do you have for that song? And I said 162, and he's like, let's do it at 172. Now, any of us who play to a click know that's like ridiculous amount of beats per minute faster, right? 10 not 1 or 2, but 10. I'm like, all right, bro, you want fast, you're gonna get fast. So I clicked it off at 172, and we started playing, and he's motioning to me like, whoa, you got to slow it down. So I started to take my foot off the gas, right, and to where he felt like it was supposed to be. And when I tempo checked, it was 162. I'm like, dude, I was like, I cannot wait for this commitment to be done. So that was like, man, can you just trust the people you're playing with that they're doing the thing that they're supposed to do?
That's funny.
Now, if I'm playing with Scott or anybody for that matter who I really trust and respect as a musician and as people, if one of those come to me and they say, hey, that kick drum pattern's not quite right, I'll go, oh, and then I'll listen to it. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're right. And then I just make that adjustment. I don't get all into myself. Like, how dare they tell me
you're right. I'm just going to keep playing it this way, though.
I think it's really, really important. Like, you play songs how they're supposed to be played. And the better you know the song, then you can make other choices. Like, you can use your artistic license a little bit more to stretch. But I think, like, signature parts and stuff should remain intact. Right. And the feel of the song should remain intact. And you should play the song in a relatively similar tempo. Not, oh, let's take it 10 beats faster then. Let's see what Mr. James Harrison has to say. He says, defining success so you can determine if it's worth your time. Yeah. Money, drugs, tempers, egos, unprepared for rehearsals, travel situations can all affect you and cause internal issues. Yep. When young, it's about experience and fun. When older, we evaluate if something is worth your time. Less adequate musicians, low pay, egos become red flags. So important changes, in my opinion. What was important at 16 is different than 60. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on board with that. So I'm 53, and things that I either didn't know at a younger age, like I started touring when I was 19. Yeah. No, 20. I was 20. I was gone from home for 7 months, and it was a lot of hard work, but it was so fun at the same time. And now I'm 53. If that same opportunity existed now, I'd be like, screw that. There's no way. There's no way that's happening. Right? But when you're 20, you're like, your decision-making paradigm is a lot different than when you're 30 years past that.
And I think sometimes you have to have experiences to know, to learn from.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, you can go off of what people say, oh, don't ever do that because of this, that, and the other. You can learn from that. But like sometimes you just have to have experiences to know, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I look back at that time with a lot of different emotions, but one of them is I do fondly look back at that, and I'm grateful for those experiences. But there's no way at this point in my life that would make sense. Like the low pay, the amount of time gone, because we're all trading time for something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's money or you make these sacrifices. So it's like, well, at this point in my life, do I really need that experience?
Yeah.
You don't want to go backwards.
Nope.
And I think that's part of that is you feel like you're going back down the ladder instead of up the ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. I got really lucky with Casio because, you show up for rehearsal and they already know the songs. Like it's a rarity to show up and, maybe we were learning like a group of songs.
Yeah.
And so somebody may be like, I didn't get to that one. Sorry guys, or whatever. And so then we just don't work on that one yet. But like for the most part, if we were working on 5 new songs, they know at least 4 of them already. And we're just fine tuning it. Like, and we'll run it like one time. Like, yeah. Whoa, should we play this more?
Well,
we're good. I'm good. Okay.
I think that's even true, like outside of the world of covers, like even original music, at least the people I play with and how we operate now, it's not, it used to be, you get in a room and you had roaring amps going in this PA and it would be super loud. Of course, that's another thing. Like when you're younger, like that doesn't bother you so much. And I've been using in-ear monitors now for 10 years, maybe a little bit longer. Like the thought of going back to a floor wedge just freaks me out. Like just because I know how loud that is, and I've become spoiled having like this great mix in my ears all the time. Mm-hmm. And even if it's not a great mix, like still just volume wise, it's like way more tolerable. Yeah. But I guess I was starting to talk about original music. Like we used to get, so the frequency of rehearsal, right, was more when you're younger. Like when I got into midline, we rehearsed 6 days a week. That was our commitment. And nobody in the band went, oh, I really want to go out this Wednesday night with my girlfriend or whatever. It was like, well, Mary, you were there.
Well,
I was gone. I was at practice.
But you guys had like a set time. So it was like 6 to 10 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So then I just knew that if we were doing anything, it was after that.
Sure.
And on a weekend night, nothing was starting until after 10 anyway.
This is true.
You go downtown. It's like, if you got there before 10, it's like, the place is dead.
Yeah, you're here early.
Yeah.
So, but that's when we would like, somebody would have a riff, right? Or there would be like some kind of spontaneous writing thing, which that was great. And that's how we worked. So there wasn't, now, we rehearse once a week and we try to be regular with that. It doesn't always work out, but like if somebody has an idea, they just record that idea and then email it to people. And so by the time you're getting together to rehearse, everybody's had a chance to digest this riff and come up with their ideas. And so when you get it's just like a way more efficient way of working now with the time that we have available. And so if you're playing in the cover band world, which I do a lot, like even with Cliff, sometimes you learn covers and you never rehearse them. Just you rely on everybody to do their homework. And so you just step on stage and you play it. Just knowing that everybody in the band made this commitment, just play it how it was recorded. Like that's our starting point. That's the truth. That's our due north, right? It's not like somebody's scratching their head going, wait a second, does the chorus repeat twice or once? Or it's like, you better just know. Mm-hmm. All right. So Gary Tackett. Gary is another wellspring of knowledge here. Uh-huh. Gary says, pre-tour rehearsals and initial auditions, interview is the best place to get everyone together and lay out the ground rules for the artist.
Yeah.
Managing expectations. There we go.
Yes.
Boom, right there. If I could highlight those two words, I would highlight those two words. If
expectations had been managed before I left my house to go to that rehearsal.
Exactly. It has a lot to do with the hang, but we were recording every night and listening to the next day. And in some of my situations, management and the label would dictate the lineup. If a person stood out and took attention away from the artist, they were dismissed.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Uh-huh. Some artist gigs, we were told just to stand there and play your parts. And then E ...
Every sideman gig was different, he said.
Oh, I can't see that on my end for some reason.
I was able to click the dots.
I don't think that works for me. That's why you're the producer.
I guess.
Yeah, managing expectations. That's just such a huge thing, right? I was just seeing Seal's comment about 2,000 stars. I'm not sure what he's talking about there.
Well, okay, so at the bottom of the comment screen, there's a thing that says send 200 stars to see your comment here.
Oh.
I don't know what that means, but everybody's commenting and nobody's having to send stars, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's like I can see everybody's comments. So I'm not sure what that means.
Seth says he currently plays drums for Meadow Mountain Church and really enjoys it. Well, there you go. There you go.
I don't know where Meadow Mountain Church is.
I think that Seth lives somewhere up near Idaho City. I think.
Oh.
I might have him confused with so Seth's son takes drum lessons from me, and I have another family who also live in the Roby Creek area, and so they bring their kids once a week into town. So with that other family, I teach their son drum lessons, and I think they have a daughter who's taking piano lessons near here at the same time, or thereabouts.
It looks like maybe Roby Creek, but it says Roby Creek Road, Boise, Idaho. So I don't know.
Well, I can't tell you. I don't know the answer to that. Gary says you're a monster, Fred. Total pro. Thanks, Gary. And I enjoy playing with Gary too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is when I don't know. I don't mean to sound arrogant or pompous. That's not my intent whatsoever. But just when you start playing with people who operate on these higher levels, who have this really monster skill set, like playing with somebody who doesn't have those same abilities, just not. It goes back to what James was saying. What are you going to tolerate?
Right.
I've had people off and on, I'll go through a little phase where I'll get messages from people needing a drummer for a band, or they want to just jam and see if anything comes of it. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't interest me, even if I might not know them very well or whatever, but it's I don't need to find another cover band to play in, or I'm just not into just getting together to jam. I don't have the time. And so when I was younger, that would be like, oh yeah, give me more to do. Right? I'm just like, I think I'm good. So, but I think when the people that kind of operate on a higher level, when they solicit you to do something, then you feel like, oh, that's where I'd like to spend my time. So Thomas is here on YouTube. He says, I have a good topic for next week. What are your pre-show rituals and how does it impact your performance if you don't do them?
That's a good question.
Hey, producer, let's have that comment ready to go for Mr. Abercrombie next week. That would be a good topic.
And are you superstitious about things? He said. Yeah.
I just to answer that question really quick, I'm not really superstitious.
No, well, I don't know if he means superstitious in the black hat, walking under the ladder, number 13. Yeah. I don't know if he means that specifically, but like, like some people wear like the baseball player that always wears the same dirty socks all season, or whatever. It's like, those are my good luck socks.
My socks are clean.
We've won every game with these socks.
I don't want to get too sidetracked with that, but I don't have any superstitions that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of either.
But I think talking about like your pre-show ritual type stuff or things, maybe you have this thing that you do to get ready to get on stage. Chip Ritter is here. Love it, man. Go Fred Rock. There's the party. Chip says expectations are planned resentments for me. I think the band needs to have shared expectations. Because you could be expecting one thing and nobody else is like on board with whatever.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So then, like if you're expecting things to go a certain way and it doesn't, it's like, yeah, that becomes a resentment. Seth says it's Jesus loves you on the hills. Jesus loves you on the hillside near Roby Creek. I'm not 100% sure of Seth's comment. If that's
regarding the church.
Say that again.
I was asking where the church was.
Oh. Jamie Vink is here. And then Joff is asking, and have those rituals changed from your 20s till now? I don't have any rituals necessarily I can think of, but
this is for next week.
Fred. I know.
Don't jump the gun here.
So it would seem from everybody's input that the number one thing is exactly what Scott and Mark and there was Gary. Everybody is saying like, oh, it was Jared Anthony. Like having the hang, somebody you can be around, somebody that you can, who's not pissing you off.
Wow.
Right. Not to put too fine a point on it, but yeah, you want to, like, as soon as you're around somebody that you can't gel with and you're like committed to doing something, it's just like has this certain amount of dread to it.
Yeah, it's like the Seinfeld characters, they're all happy until Newman shows up. And
yes, exactly.
Oh, Newman.
Yeah. They tolerate him because he delivers the mail, right?
He's the mailman.
But then there's the one guy like Kramer he could be friends with anybody. Right? He doesn't because Jerry and Elaine and George all look at Newman like, But Kramer's like, hey man, how's it going? And they always come up with some wacky scheme to do something. I think Alf is like Kramer.
Alf is like Kramer.
Alf is like Kramer in the fact that Alf will get along with anybody. It doesn't matter who they are. Alf will be like, they're in the party. Right? Where I might be looking at the person Alf's hanging with like, oh, no.
We love you, Alf.
Yeah. But he'll just jump right in. He's the Kramer of the group.
He's the Kramer.
So I had these a few talking points, but I don't think that they're even going to be necessary, but maybe they'll spark just a few minutes more of conversation because like goals, values, a person's stage in their journey, which goes back to like what James Harrison was saying, like, okay, when you're younger, you're willing to tolerate, or maybe you don't even know that you're tolerating something, right? But you're having those experiences when you're younger. And so then when you get older, you're like, I'm not going to deal with that ever again in my life. Mm-hmm. Artistic expression, the need to express themselves. So that would be like, for me, that'd be like songwriting, being a part of songwriting. I don't claim to be a songwriter necessarily. With Midline, I'm more, my involvement with the songwriting process might be arrangement stuff. And then I'll put in a little bit of input here and there if I feel it's necessary, but it's like being a lyricist or a melody person, I'm rarely that guy. But everybody in the band has their strong suit, their talent, right? Skill and mastery of your instrument, connecting with an audience, that to me is something I'm really in love with, is performing on stage in front of an audience.
Well, yeah, I guess there's so many ways you can answer the question, right? Like some people might think, well, it's just understood that I'm not going to play with people that I can't hang with, or it's just understood that I'm not going to play with certain people because I know their abilities and I'm going to get nowhere with them.
Right.
Or, but like some people may be like, I don't ever want to play in a cover band because I can't be creative. I want it. Oh, sure. I want to be creative. I want to create and write songs.
Yeah.
Nothing against cover bands, but it's when you only have so much time, that might be your thing, is I just want to write.
I guess for Midline, or for me, artistic expression really exists strongly in Midline, and everybody in that band I just love, and we have that hang. And I think that's probably the case for most anybody watching who's in like an original band, that you have all that outlet. But at the same time, Midline is no longer it doesn't exist on the level it used to in the parameters of we're going to make it, we're trying to get a record deal or anything, because we've done all of that, which didn't bear any fruit whatsoever. So I have that outlet, but like I play a lot of cover stuff with Cliff Miller, but in parallel to that, get to write a lot of, be part of songwriting with Cliff, where Cliff usually has a pretty completed idea of how he wants things to go. So specifically with Cliff, we probably play 50% covers and 50% original music. And that's appealing to me, to be able to have the original stuff in that mix. A lot of times though, like career, making a living at music is really important. I would put myself in that category as well.
Yeah. So like goals.
Yeah.
What are your goals?
Yeah.
Some people might have like a goal of, for me, it's really important. The most important thing for me is that I do this for a living. And so then all the other things fall under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Well, in order for me to do this, as a living, I mean, cover bands seem to make more than original bands on a local level. I'm not sure on a national level, like, unless you've like hit it big. I don't know how much people make as musicians traveling around.
It's interesting because I know a dozen or so people who have record deals or had record deals and have toured the world and done all these things, and some of them who are still doing it. I get wildly different stories from people. Like some people will be like, oh, it's just this thing we do for fun. It doesn't pay much. And then on the other hand, I'll have people tell me how great it is and that they're making really great money. And so they're kind of all over the map with whatever their experiences are. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a hard question to ask. Yeah, I guess it depends on what kind of music you're playing, where you're playing, what audience, how relevant is your band still. That's a whole nother long thing. And then authenticity and sound production. Okay, since we have a recording studio, and then we also work with people like somebody like Chris Collier, like the product that we put out, especially with Midline, is just like, it has to be really, really good. I don't accept anything less, right? As far as that goes. Mm-hmm. Are you there? Did I lose you?
I'm reading some James and Jamie.
Well, let's just put James's up here. But like, before I forget, like sound production, like even like how you're being represented online, can be really cool or really embarrassing. Like when I'm playing a show and there's a moment where stuff isn't going right, and you look out in the audience and somebody's like this. They're like live streaming your completely garbage performance to the internet. And you're just like, it's like, oh, how embarrassing is that? And then you have people that post it on purpose. I don't know. I just like,
well, sometimes we have bad moments on stage and the audience doesn't really.
That's true.
They don't realize it, or they just don't care. Like it doesn't matter to them. And it's crazy. Like I'll see videos of big name artists having weird things happen.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Swift, especially, she has all sorts of weird crap happen on stage. Bugs flying into her mouth or the keyboard glitching out because of the rain or whatever. And people love those moments because there's something real about it.
Sure, I get that.
In a world of, auto-tune and everything is perfect, when something goes awry, people are like, oh, they are real. They're real people.
Well, there's been plenty of videos out there where I'm playing with either, doesn't matter who I'm playing with, but it's like, what's the drummer stroking out? He's like, did somebody just electrocute that guy? It's like just kind of, and those are the moments that seem to get caught and put out there. I guess the moments where I think they're really cool, it's like, oh, they didn't get that. But they got the stick drop and they got the fumbling around and
I like to see people's personalities. I think we're getting like off topic, but yeah, I like to see people's personalities on stage. And if they have a mishap, it's like, oh, that was kind of funny. I mean, I guess as long as it doesn't keep happening throughout the gig, then you're like, oh no, this is bad.
Well, I don't think I was too far off topic because the last two things were authenticity and sound production.
Oh, okay,
the sound production made me think of like just not like audio, but like how you appear. But then, the fumbling around could be tied to like that authenticity. Like, oh, these people are real. They're actually doing that. And then when they fumble, it lets you know that they're not an AI version of themselves, right? Let's check out what Mr. Harrison says here. Being in a band is always a learning experience. Once I was asked to join a very popular and successful group, I was super excited and gained some great experience, but they had already been together for 10 years and had lots of resentment towards each other. Oh, that'd be a rough situation to step into. Yeah. I was 10 years younger in age. It was somewhat depressing to see this slowly imploding because it was such a great band. It did finally implode, but it also made me aware of sensing these types of problems. Yeah. Well, I'm assuming that would be a little uncomfortable to be around when you step into a situation where there's tension. And and maybe you don't know those people very well. You're like, are they just being sarcastic with each other, or they really just they're not really digging on each other. Jamie says keeping the dream alive is important. Sometimes you outgrow your bandmates and have to leave a great hang to grow. Yeah, that comes back to like your goals and like what you're trying to accomplish, and I don't think that's too unusual for to feel like you've outgrown a situation. You want to move on to something bigger. Jared says you two are funny today. Not that you normally aren't. Did you know you're funny, Mary?
I didn't. Although my band always tells me, Mary, you really should think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth. And
yeah.
I said it wouldn't be any fun that way.
Right. Right.
Because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
You're digging a hole now.
Yeah.
You're digging a hole now.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think just wrapping it up, it's what Jared and Scott and Mark said at the top of the show. Like somebody who has a great vibe, they're a great hang to be around. Like that seems to be the thing that's really important. And even Gary was mentioning that, you know, Gary being not just a guitar player, but also tour manager and hiring and firing band people, is like, know your role and be cool. Right.
Yeah.
Like in Gary's situation, you're supporting an artist where maybe the focus is on that artist. Yeah. It made me think of Taylor Swift. Like, I'm not a big Swiftie fan. Like I don't gravitate towards her music. I'm not saying that she's good or bad. Obviously, she's very successful. But it's all about Taylor. You see Taylor, and then you see like dancers around her, but they never really focus on the band.
Yeah, the
so you don't really see the drummer just like being animal back there, right? He probably looks really cool and is playing the parts exactly like they're supposed to be, and he's doing his job, but there's nothing that's like really bringing attention to himself. Whereas I think of a band like a Motley Crue or something like that, where the audience knows the name of every person in the band, and every person in the band has a strong personality or a character, like Kiss, for example.
Yeah, but they're bands, so it's all about everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So it's not just like a singular artist, like a Taylor Swift or somebody like that. James says, most important, keeping people out of your office, right, Fred? Yes. Get out of my office. James likes to rib me about that because I really hate that. But Scott Alexander's right with the office comment is like, it started more as a thing like to say, look, I'm cooler than you. Like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know what the intent was, but it comes across that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember all the days of being in my office, drawing landscaping plans and putting bids together, and I had no choice in the matter. I had to make a living for my family. I had to take care of my family, and just being behind my desk in my office was such an incredibly, I don't know how to express my deep disappointment in myself. And
well, it's kind of like that feeling Sunday evening around 7:00 when you're a kid and you realize
school's
tomorrow, and you have that feeling in your stomach, and then you realize, oh, I didn't do my math assignment and that essay is due.
Yeah.
And then you have even more.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
that's the feeling. I worked an office job way too long. I hope to never have to go back to an office job, and nothing against office jobs for people who work them, but it was not for me.
But some people, that's their dream, is to work in an office and do their accounting or whatever it is that they do. Right.
Right.
That's their
But
passion.
for me, I felt really trapped.
Yep.
Especially the last job I worked, I was in this weird area of the office where I was just surrounded by walls, and there was no sunlight, there was no view to the outside. I had to like get up and go stand by somebody's actual office if they even had their blinds open.
Yeah.
But at least at Micron, they had, like when I worked at Micron in the offices were on the inside, the walls were glass, and then they had blinds. And so usually they kept their blinds open, and then you could see through their office to the outside. But in this law firm I was working at, like they only just had, it was walls. Everything was just walls, and like that awful taupe colored, like
taupe
beige
is supposed to be
walls.
soothing.
And I just felt like a prisoner. I just hated it.
Yeah. Well, I to me,
so I don't like to, that's not fun to me. I can't equate
I agree.
office with
I agree. For me as a drummer who had this, from the moment I picked up sticks at 10 years old, I just had this deep love and appreciation for music and for playing the drums. And it was my happy place, right? That's like being a drum teacher. I have some students that just really thrive and they're so into it and they practice a ridiculous amount, just like I did. And then I have some students who never, ever, ever practice. Like the only time they play drums is when they're in this room. And sometimes I wrestle with like, how important do I stress that they should practice? But just for me, I had this deep love. And when I finally had made a decision in my life, like music wasn't going to work out for me. And so I had to choose something else to do. And as I got deeper into the landscaping world, and especially when we had employees and I was responsible for them and their income, like I had all this pressure, and just being in the office to me was like admitting my failure and just this resignation from music was it blackened my heart in a weird way, in my soul, like this emptiness.
Sure.
And I guess that might be why I get so.
Right. And not everybody's going to equate.
No, I know. That. I'm just telling them like my personal opinion of that is that being in the office, which is such a miserable, horrible, it was like being in prison. I became a prisoner of circumstances that I was never going to be able to live my passion and make.
This is getting depressing. I
know. I'm gonna come right out of this here in a second. So that's when I see people post, I'm at my office tonight. It just does something to me in the inside, and maybe it shouldn't. It's supposed to be funny or whatever, but I don't think of it that way. I gotta let it go. I gotta let it go.
I look at it more as like if you're gonna take a picture looking out at this huge audience or whatever, it's like, this is what I get to do. Remember that scene in The Rookie where he's the rookie with Dennis Quaid?
Yes, I love that movie.
And he's made it out into like some minor league team. I can't remember who he's playing with. Yeah. And it's rough.
Yeah.
And they're having trouble paying the bills. And he's hardly making any money.
Right.
And I mean, it's even worse than a teacher's salary. And he calls his wife and says, I think I'm going to go home.
Right.
And she's like, well, but do you still love it? Like, are you going to regret that decision? And so he kind of sleeps on it. And he walks out and he's watching this little league. He had called like from a payphone or something. And then he walks out and he sees this little league team playing and the kids are having so much fun. And he just kind of realized, yeah, like this has been my dream since I was their age, like since the time I could throw a ball. And so then the next day he comes out with like this whole new perspective and attitude and said, you know what we get to do today? We get to play baseball. And he has this big smile on his face. Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, so I play a lot of shows.
I get to do this.
I get to do this. And I've had this discussion a lot with people, it seems recently, especially having like guests over, because we'll do the podcast and then we'll have breakfast and have this hang now. Like this thing keeps developing. way beyond I ever thought it would. And it's exciting, but it's like, man, I get to do music now for a living. I get to do this every day, and I get to see these students, and I see the next name popping up on the list and I get excited. I'm like, because I know what everybody's working on, and it's fun to see these people of all ages come in here and hear about their day and what they're working on, and the music that the kids in high school are working on, and all of this. It's like, it's just this nonstop wheel of cool.
Yeah.
And it makes me so happy and grateful and thankful. And that, I mentioned like playing in front of an audience is like so exciting for me. It's like, that's my happy place. That's where I love to live. And I just think the office thing devalues that emotion for me so terribly. And so,
well, the thing is an office job is so common, right? Like,
sure, yeah.
How many people work office jobs or whatever? But not everybody has the ability or the time or the talent or the money or whatever to be a musician and to go out and perform in front of people.
Yeah.
And so to get out there on the stage, regardless of how good or bad you are, to have that moment is really a privilege, because you could be a good musician and never get to play because maybe you can't hook up with a band. Like you can't find the right people that you gel with. Or you finally have hooked up and you just can't seem to get a gig anywhere, depending on where you live or, I don't know how hard it is for, when we first got started, it was like we had our very first gig was we were supposed to play for some fundraiser up in Cascade. And it looked, and as like Jeff was like confirming things, it's like, yeah, I'm getting this impression we're not going to get paid, or it was either we weren't going to get paid or we weren't, or the gig was going to fall through. Something was not going to work.
Something was
and
not
so
right.
That gig ended up getting canceled. And we're all racking our brains. Well, where can an 80s band play? Like we didn't even know what kind of venue would take us and what all was out there.
Yeah.
And because like Jeff, I think, had played with other artists. And then I think Daniel and Brandon had their own, they had their own little group where they were writing music, but they didn't play often. It was more like tree fort kind of stuff, I think. Kelly wasn't playing in a band. I don't know about saxophone players, but I remember calling Mike Steed and saying, do you have any ideas? Like where somebody like, you're a sound guy. So any ideas? And he's like, well, actually, we had a band fall through at Graney's this Saturday. And you guys want to play? Like, yes.
Yeah.
But like, that just felt kind of lucky. Like, I don't know. So I can see how it could be really hard for bands to get into a place. It's just like there's just so many there's so many things that go into being in a band. And when you've been at it for a while, I think maybe, I don't want to say you take it for granted, but like you already have all those kind of things under your belt, and so you know how to get the gigs, or but like it ultimately when you're standing at your drum kit and you're looking out at an audience, or you're you guys are you're setting up or whatever, I mean, like you just it really is a privilege to be able to do that. And like don't downplay it by making it common, because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a common thing.
Yeah. I agree with all of that.
There are a lot of people that wish they could be in the, up there doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I have a student, Serena, and she said her dream is to play in a bar band and play and be out there and do that and have fun doing that. Like that's something that she wants to do. She's never done it before, and so I'm trying to help her get in contact with some people and just get out there and do some stuff. Like she wants to get on stage and play. That would be just like so fun for her. And the discussion never revolves around money.
Yeah.
Or like that as a career. That is a recreational thing for like when people have a boat or something that they take that boat out on the weekends and they go do their thing, right? So for a lot of musicians, that's their recreational thing, is to be able to, it's the weekend and I'm going to go jam in this garage with my buddies, or, they play a gig once a month or every 6 months or whatever the case may be. That's like such a fun, happy thing for them. Right. But I think we beat that thing to death. Yeah. I most certainly have over months of, but I guess James brought it up, so we're going to blame James.
But the important thing is that you have good shoes.
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to go down the list of things that are important to me, shoes are one of those. If people know me on any basic level, how repulsive feet are to me.
Yeah, Fred hates feet.
I cannot.
So if you've seen my Facebook post yesterday,
I cannot begin to tell you how repulsed I am by seeing people barefoot. And then I saw a video of a band playing like recently, and like half the band doesn't have shoes on at all. And that's I was fixated. I can't even tell you if they were good at what they were doing. I just saw feet and I was like, where's the trash can? Because I'm about to vomit.
Okay, y'all need to know that when I was pregnant with...
Oh, I'm not touching those things.
When I was... that's not even that. When I was pregnant with, for sure, Elliot, that's when it started. I just started kicking my shoes off at church, like on the worship team, because my feet hurt so bad. And they would just get so swollen from standing there. I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm going barefoot. And then it just became my thing. And like for a long time, for several years, I would kick my shoes off, and that was how I played. And you were just like, ugh.
Well, could people in the congregation see your feet?
Huh?
Could people see your feet besides me and other people in the band?
I don't know. I would think they could. We didn't have. I don't know.
Man, I'm not. It's to me. It's too hippie. It's too.
Wasn't trying to be a hippie.
You know what it makes me, because Anthony hates feet too, and we're repulsed by people performing on stage barefoot. And in the early '90s or mid '90s, there was a band that we knew, and the singer was always barefoot. And Anthony was like, "I swear, I'm going to bring a handful of thumbtacks and I'm going to throw them on the stage. Like, I'm going to make that guy wear shoes." That's how.
Hey man, you're just in touch with
and so that always pops in my head when I see somebody barefoot on stage.
But now, on the other hand, everywhere. I'm literally bare. I don't wear shoes in the house. I don't like socks. I don't know. Like I'm always, so it's funny that we're like so polar opposite. Like you have to have your shoes on all the time. Yep. And I'm like, get these things off my feet. I can't stand it. I used to walk home from track practice barefoot.
Oh gosh.
Like I just have always, I don't
this
know.
Conversation's gone south to our feet. Well, and Seth just says I play barefoot. Oh my gosh, really?
How? Doesn't that hurt though? So I would think like with drums, like I don't know. I couldn't put my feet on those pedals unless you've done something to the pedals to make them tolerable. But
if somebody's barefoot, that's the first thing I notice.
Well, I know.
It's like,
yeah, you have like this aversion to feet. So Fred would be like, "Oh, guess what I saw today? I had to go into the Maverick, and I was grabbing a coffee, and I turn around, and there's this guy, and he's wearing Birkenstocks, and he's missing 3 toes."
Yeah, he's
something
like,
nobody else would notice, but he sees it. Like he sees all the weird feet.
Or somebody's in flip flops and they got
her toes are hanging over the edge of her shoes. What's going on? Like,
yeah, your toes shouldn't go past, like they shouldn't be curling around the end of your flip flops or your sandals. No, that shouldn't be a thing. Seeing your stupid toes hanging out way past your flip flops. Like, don't they make flip flops that your feet actually sit on? Or to see people's toenail fungus and their yellow, gross, crackly, disintegrating toenails. It's like,
ew.
Put some MFer shoes on.
Get your monkey toes to work.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. No, I just like, but ever since then, when I see somebody barefoot on stage, I have that evil little fantasy in my mind from Anthony. Like, I just want to throw thumbtacks all over the stage. Jamie says Nick, the drummer for Rocky, plays barefoot. Never understood that. I don't either, and I don't think I can be friends with Nick anymore.
No, okay, that's not true. Well, you know,
you know, since we've gone down this rabbit hole, I see drummers on TikTok and Instagram and all that. Like, they'll be doing like, first of all, there's some drummers on TikTok that go live and they'll play drums like for 8 or 9 or 10 hours. I'm like, how in the world are they sitting there? Like, I don't know if they're getting some kind of decent amount of money doing that, but then they're barefoot. It's like, off. I can't handle it.
Says it's a way better feel. He likes to feel better with his feet.
Yeah, and I do. I know a handful of people that play drums barefoot. Like, that's their thing.
You know, I noticed for me, like for playing guitar, it like when I'd have, especially like if the shoe had any sort of a heel to it, it would put my hips in a different position and then push my guitar into a position that I didn't like. And so being barefoot, it like brought it back down. So it was more like straight or whatever, like I could see better. So I don't know. It was more comfortable for me that way.
Hey, if the unbelievably beautiful and talented Sheila E. can play in 4-inch heels.
She's playing in 4-inch heels on the drums. How does that even work?
Oh, look it up. She freaking nails it. Yeah.
I don't know how the heels would get in the way. It would seem like.
Yeah. Barefoot in general is
standing.
Just like, I won't be barefoot in my own home. Typically, I'll have socks on at least.
Oh, except for that little picture I posted yesterday. Hey, if you haven't seen the picture I posted, you guys, that's Fred's foot.
The lick heard around the world.
The lick curled around the world.
All right. Well, Scott might message me and say, dude, you got to leave the office thing alone. I would if James Harrison would leave it alone. It's all in good fun, right?
If there's anything anybody knows about you, you hate feet.
I hate feet.
And you don't like The Office.
I don't like The Office. Feet in The Office. You can leave your feet in the office. Put some frickin' shoes on. I don't want to start making excuses like what drummers could get away with because they're kind of hidden behind a wall of drums and cymbals. But man, if you're on the front line, like, look like you belong there. Not that you forgot your shoes. All right. Well, producer, I know that you are
I got places to be.
Barefoot in your office. Yeah.
I am. I'm barefoot in my office, James.
James, remind me to kick you in the shins the next time I see you with my shoes on from my office chair. Right? Oh, dang it. I miss James being closer. I think the last time I saw James is shortly after I got home from Indianapolis, and I was still just not really able to get up and move around, and my leg was all busted up, and James came over and made me feel better.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw.
No. Okay, so next week I supposedly will have Jeff Abercrombie from the band Fuel here. And he still didn't text me back. I should text him and go, dude, where are you? Make him feel really James says he was here October last year.
Oh, geez.
Was it October?
That was still pretty new.
Yeah, well, I was still pretty busted up.
Yep.
I was
still not walking.
Yeah. My leg, Mary, was that last night or this morning? No, I think it was last night. You said, man, look how swollen your leg is.
Huge. What the heck?
All I know is that the doctors told me that, or my physical therapist said it could take 2 to 2.5 years for my leg to stop swelling like that. So
that's crazy.
I got 1 year under my belt so far, which is, I'm not really hurting anymore. I haven't had anything that's been like super uncomfortable. I feel like my walking is smoother, especially in the morning. As the day goes on and gets later, I start limping a little bit more, but hasn't affected my drumming. I feel really good drumming. So,
well, I mean, here I am, almost 3 years since I chopped off the end of my little finger, and I'm still getting feeling back. Like there's still some numbness in it.
Yeah. How long ago was that again?
It was in the beginning of December.
What year?
It'll be 3 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, and that was a minor compared to you. That's a pretty minor thing. And I'm still getting feeling back in it. And
well, it's pretty sensitive.
Type now. Like I used to have to switch to I had to adjust so that anything that you did with your pinky, I had to do with my ring finger. But like I stopped playing the piano because I would get so frustrated because my shorter finger,
yeah,
I already have small hands. And then now my shorter finger wouldn't reach things or would slide off or whatever. I just get so mad where I'd have to switch and use my ring finger and it wasn't working. And so I got frustrated and I just stopped playing. But now that I've got more feeling back, I can type better and I could probably screw around on the piano again. But like the fingernail part of it is really weird because it's not like, I don't know how to describe it.
Well, James just
wants
said
to curve around my finger.
Yeah,
and so keep it really short.
It is bizarre.
It gets in the way
yeah. James says, I'm sure cold weather will affect your leg for the rest of your life. Does the cold weather affect your pinky? Have you noticed?
Say that again.
Does cold weather affect your pinky? Have you noticed?
Well, yeah, because remember I was even just showing you the other day, like my pinky will get cold. Like the rest of my fingers will be fine. And my pinky, like if you touch it, my pinky's cold. And I don't know why. I don't know why.
That's a circulation thing. I'm pretty confident.
Right now it's colder than the other ones. And it's not even cold in my office. I don't know.
Well, I never really went outside much when it was cold. Plus I couldn't get around very well, but I'm this winter will be probably a truer test of the cold weather. But I shattered my left wrist in a car accident when I was I was 21 or 22.
21, I think. Still.
And I did have for a long, long time, whenever it would, like the barometric pressure would change and I would feel this aching in my joint. Mm-hmm. I would say probably the last 15 years or so, I haven't noticed it as much as I used to when I was younger. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. I don't know why that is, but
that's weird. You think it would flip flop.
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in and weighing in with your input. It's really interesting and great conversation. I appreciate it.
And this is Fred Fisher saying, please wear your shoes.
Please wear your shoes. Yes. Yes.
Please wear your shoes to the office.
Make my life's dream come true by you wearing your shoe. Everybody's Cinderella out there. They're missing a shoe.
Oh, Cinderella.
I'm looking for the person who wears this shoe. Right? I'll paint them gold for you even. Wear these stupid shoes.
It was a crystal.
And sandals don't count. We got to keep those piggies covered up. Keep those piggies in blankets.
Oh my God.
Right? All right. We'll be back next week. And Mark just put a picture of feet. I think that's feet. And hopefully Jeff Abercrombie will be here. I gotta square that away with that guy. He was in a panic thinking it was today. So
no, I'm sure he saw your message.
Yep. Producer, thanks.
Yep.
Jamie says we're out of control. Of course we are. James says I'm going to buy you see-through shoes.
Ooh.
If I had see-through shoes on, I would wear really cool socks. That's what I would do. Cool. All right, we're going to end this thing. Guys, okay. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. All right.
Okay.
Nighty night. Nighty night, cuckoos.